My dear friends, I am Sunil Ranjan and I am an English teacher. Now in this session I have come up with the explanation of the poem I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou. Well, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is a poem written by the American poet and civil rights activist Maya Angelou, who is also called the Black Woman's Poet Laureate. Her reflections on the society and the times she lived in are deeply expressed in her poetry. I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings is a reflection on social inequality and the ideals of freedom and justice. With the metaphor of birds, Angelou represents the inequality seen in the society of a time that discriminated between the African Americans and the white Americans. Through her poem, she also expresses the nature of freedom and captivity by creating a stark contrast by using birds as the metaphor. The poem describes the state of two birds, where one is free and floats and dares to claim the sky, while the other is caged in his bar of rage. The first and the third stanza show the happiness of the free bird that enjoys freedom, whereas the rest of the stanzas express the unpleasant state of the caged bird. Angelou puts greater emphasis on the dreadful state of the caged bird and contrasts this with that of the free bird. Now the poem begins. A free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wing in the orange sun's rays and dares to claim the sky. In the opening lines, a free bird leaps on the back of the wind demonstrates its freedom. It moves about and glides freely through the air. It floats downwards until the current of the sea ends. It dips its wing in the sea in the orange rays of the sun and flies back to the sky. Through this metaphor of the bird, the poet shows how nice it feels to have the freedom to do what one desired. But a bird that stalks down this narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. Now, the explanation goes, but the bird that remains in cage can hardly see anything outside. Its anger inside the cage carries no meaning. Its wings are clipped, so it cannot fly. Its feet are tied, so it cannot get away from there. The only joy for it is that it can open its throat to sing. Through the image of a bird, the poet expresses the miserable state of the blacks in America. Now the poem goes further. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Now, the caged bird sings in high notes of fear, as if shrieking, asking for help. There is a fear in his voice. He had never known what freedom meant, but longed for it. His voice can be heard from far off hills. His deep longing for freedom can be sensed in his song. The free bird thinks of another breeze and the trade wind soft through the sighing trees and the fat worms waiting on a dawn bright lawn and he names the sky his own. Here the scene shifts again to the bird that waits for another wave of fresh air. The free bird, on the other hand, delights in his freedom and flies through the trade winds and the sighing trees smoothly. The free bird thinks of the fat worm waiting for him in the lawns of the bright morning to be his food. He feels majestic in his freedom and calls the entire sky his domain. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. Now the poem goes further. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The explanation is, but a caged bird's dreams die and lie in the grave. Even his shadow screams at the nightmare of being in such a pitiable condition. The repetition of the lines, his wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing, intensify the pathetic condition of the caged bird. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown, but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Now, the last stanza comes here, and it is a refrain that intensifies and justifies the miserable condition of the blacks in America, and it has been expressed through the metaphor of birds. The miserable condition of the blacks that demands attention and calls for help, that is heard even far, far away. The sad and pathetic state of the caged bird, the pitiable condition of the blacks, inspired the poet to give her poem the title, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. So friends, I come to the end of the explanation here, and do subscribe to my channel so that I feel happy, and I promise I'll be coming up with more videos that will be very meaningful and you will enjoy. Thank you.